The initial fan and critic reactions to the Ahsoka show are swirling around the internet, and they are definitely mixed. However, I still believe Dave Filoni has prepared us a masterpiece of a show, which includes the first 2 episodes. Hello there, Senators, and welcome back to the channel. We are only one day away from the 2-episode premiere of Ahsoka. I want to share my predictions for the first 2 episodes, but before I do, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay up to date on all my predictions for the Ahsoka series. And tune into my live streams on Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time to go more in depth on these predictions and share your thoughts in the live chat. Let me briefly share some critiques of the first 2 episodes before getting into my predictions. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these remarks. Total Films Molly Edwards states, Ahsoka is epic. It's got those classic Star Wars vibes while also feeling very fresh. The first episode set the scene vividly with intriguing villains, a complex bond between Ahsoka and Sabine, and some awesome lightsaber duels already. I really think we're in for a treat. Inverse's Jacob Kleiman said this, I saw the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka earlier tonight and it kind of rules. There's a lot of narrative hand-holding early on, but the plot still moves pretty fast. The new villains are equally terrifying and fascinating. Hera and Sabine both rock. I can't wait to see what's next. On the other hand, Decider's Megan O'Keefe states, initial Ahsoka thoughts. Dave Filoni lovingly brings his rebels to life in a story that embraces mythology, magic, and lore in a way that could turn off, say, Andor fans. Slower pace than expected, but still enthralling for this Rebels fan. Natasha Liu Bordizzo is my early MVP. So what immediately stands out to me about the first 2 episodes are the so-called terrifying and fascinating villains, likely Baylan Skoll and his apprentice Shin Hati. These mysterious Force users are said to be Dark Jedi, and Baylan in particular is said to be a survivor of Order 66. Based on what we have seen and heard in the trailer, their motivations are still unclear, but it would seem they are attempting to find Grand Admiral Thrawn because of the power they know he holds. It's also possible they are already working for Thrawn as his mercenaries. And to be clear, they are no Jedi.
We are no Jedi.
It seems they require Morgan Elsbeth's help to reach their goals. This leads me to my first prediction. I think the show will open with the Dark Jedi ship descending upon a New Republic transport ship. They board the ship, wipe out the crew, and free an imprisoned Morgan Elsbeth. Now, the last time we see Elsbeth is in The Mandalorian Season 2, when Ahsoka defeats her in combat. Her fate after this was uncertain, but it seems Ahsoka may have taken her to the New Republic. Elsbeth is thought to be a knight, or light, sister. We've heard rumors that the New Beyond, where Ezra and Thrawn end up after the events at the end of Rebels, is the origin place of the mysterious, force-wielding magic users known as the Night Sisters. Fans have speculated that Elsbeth, when we see her in The Mandalorian Season 2, was using resources on Corvus to build a ship that could help her reach Thrawn beyond the unknown regions. Ahsoka refers to Thrawn as Elsbeth's master. Perhaps Elsbeth is working for Baylan, or the Dark Jedi were hired by Thrawn to free her from the New Republic's custody. Nonetheless, the Dark Jedi's heist will be successful, and they will use Elsbeth and her power on their quest to find Thrawn. I really do believe this will be the first scene we see, as it will set the stage for the rest of the events in the story. It will be so refreshing to see 2 awesome force-wielding villains so prominently featured in the show. While recent villains in Disney Plus shows like Moff Gideon and Darth Vader are cool, the former generally only appears in the second half of the show's seasons, and the latter could have been portrayed a bit better. The fact we have already seen how powerful and ruthless these Dark Jedi are in the trailers leaves me extremely hopeful for the series. Not to mention we could see a fantastic scene to begin the show. And there are many other villains. Merrick, the mysterious Inquisitor, Morgan Elsbeth, and Thrawn, just to name the ones we've seen in the trailers. After the New Republic catches wind of the Dark Jedi's attack, conversations will obviously begin to take place. Hera Syndulla, who we can assume has maintained somewhat of a relationship with Ahsoka, will likely recruit Ahsoka's help. It'll be sort of a, hey, these bad guys with lightsabers are out there, we need someone with lightsabers on our side. Ahsoka will probably be quick to jump to their aid, as she has already begun hearing whispers of something dark in the unknown regions making a return. Realizing they are going up against a potentially major threat, Ahsoka and Hera will acknowledge the need for reinforcements. Ahsoka will go to Lothal to recruit Sabine Wren, and we will learn about their so-called complex history. This is where my second prediction comes from. I think we will hear Ahsoka utter the lines,
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him. Just like I walked away from Sabine.
Ahsoka will need to be convinced by Hera that Sabine is needed. It sounds like the relationship between Ahsoka and Sabine will be much more complicated than fans expected. Will we find out what Ahsoka was up to between the events of the destruction of the temple on Malachor and the events of The Mandalorian Season 2? And will we truly find out how Force sensitive, if any sensitivity, Sabine Wren truly has? I think the answer is a resounding yes, and I think we will get more details than we ask for. Not only will normie fans need to learn about these characters, but it'll probably make for some emotional moments, especially for fans of Star Wars Rebels. This is probably why the first 2 episodes are described as slower paced by some and fast paced by others. It all depends on where you are at in your knowledge of the backstory of these beloved characters. I think Sabine will struggle at first to help Ahsoka, given their rocky history, but when she comes into contact with one of these dark side Force users and re-watches Ezra's hologram stating what it takes to be a Jedi, she will have a change of heart. And finally, perhaps the best news about these first 2 episodes is that they feel like classic Star Wars. But what does that mean? It means we will likely see some space battles, lightsabers, new renditions of the John Williams classics, and more. But why this is important to me is because it means we will see the Force, which is central to Star Wars stories and literally everything within the galaxy. It means we will see the theme of family and broken relationships, which is prevalent all throughout Star Wars. It will give us a taste of all the things we've enjoyed as kids while breathing fresh air and new stories into an otherwise broken fandom. We'll get to hear mentions of all the things we love about Star Wars lore and see new powers never before seen in live action, such as the power Morgan Elsbeth holds as a knight or light sister. Put simply, it's exactly what Star Wars needs right now. And besides all this, I think we will get incredible lightsaber fights, which is always a plus. So, there you have it. There are my predictions for the first 2 episodes of the Ahsoka show. For now, this meeting is adjourned. May the Force be with you always.